Good morning, friends. Welcome back to She's At It Again. My name is Tanya, and we got a lot going on in the kitchen up there. I'm out in the sunroom right now because my mixer's going. I've got 2 loaves of bread I need to bake today because we're having a group dinner tomorrow evening. But right now, I'm going to be making the dessert for that dinner, and I want you to come with me as we make a blackberry and apple, just to sweeten it up a little bit. A fruit crisp, but it's called a cobbler. And this is gluten-free because we're going to use oats and almond flour in it. And it is refined sugar-free because we're going to use maple syrup in it. And it's so delightful. I made a note on the bottom of the recipe when I made it the first time back in, I think 2014 maybe, long time ago. And it said, we had this for dinner or after dinner and everybody loved it. I will be making this again. So let's go in the kitchen and I'll show you how to do it. All right, the first thing we're going to do is open up the fruit. I just have random fruit. Well, I say random fruit. I wanted to make a blackberry cobbler, but random because this is in my freezer. I don't even know. This may be from 2 summers ago. This, I don't know when this was from. I didn't even put a date on it. Anyway, these are blackberries that I grew in my yard, and they were frozen, so I've thawed them. Oh, there's a blueberry in there too. Random blueberry. And this is probably about 7 cups. I'm doubling the recipe, so I will put when I put the recipe in the description, I will make it for just a single recipe of this. Now this is Granny Smith apple chunks from 2023. And I'm not sure why I put them in a bag, but I didn't know. You know what? This is not Granny Smith apple chunks. I kept looking at this going, that's so yellow. How did I get a Granny Smith apple? This is mango chunks. I probably used the bag that said Granny Smith apples and just thought, you know, I'll put mangoes in here for right now. So we're going to put mangoes in here. If you have apples, use some apples. I'm just trying to add some sweetness because these blackberries are probably going to be I won't say super tart, but they're going to be tart enough to where you're going to welcome any kind of sweet fruit that's in there. So if you have, say, strawberries, or if you have blueberries, or something, a milder sweetness, like an apple, use that. If you have applesauce, you can put that in there too. I'm going to see how much this fills up the pan, and I may go ahead and add some applesauce to that. I think I have some in the pantry over there, so we may add that too. So any kind of fruit you want, that's what we're going to go for. Okay, let's go over to the island and mix up our other stuff too. All right, continuing on. I went ahead and got out a jar of applesauce out of my pantry. Now I've made this before with cherries. Make sure you use the dark sweet cherries, but I've made it with apple, all kinds of, just a variety of apples, any kind of, like I said, just random fruit, refrigerator, freezer, wherever you have it. Mix it all together. Just do whatever you like. Just make sure nobody has an allergy to any of it. All right, I'm going to show you how to open a jar. I'm not sure why that works, but my Nana used to do it all the time. Just take a spoon and tap it right along the very edge of the jar. Not hard, don't break the glass, but it works for some reason. All right, I'm going to give this a stir and break these up. That's so funny that I thought that was apples in there the whole time, and I kept thinking, that's so weird. Why would apples be yellow? What would make them turn yellow? Here in my, I need some science to tell me why Granny Smith apples were yellow, because Granny Smith apples are not yellow. They're green on the outside and turn brown when they freeze, and they're white on the inside. So anyway, that answers my dilemma. That's a mango. This fruit is pretty juicy, but I hesitate to put any thickeners in it just because I want it to be a cobbler. I want it to be kind of runny, but I do love a lovely slice when I pull it out of that pan. All right, we're going to put about half the jar of applesauce in here. Now this is a Honeycrisp applesauce, and it really is very, very sweet. There's no sugar added to it. Ingredients are organic apples. That's it. So there you go. All right, I'm just doing this for the sweetness factor. Because like I said, these blackberries are probably not very sweet. They were the thornless blackberries, and you have to wait till they get almost completely black before you pick them off the vine. And me, I'm out there just fighting the birds to get a few off the vine. So the squirrels and the birds would eat us out of house and home if they could, because they love our yard. All right, I'm going to put some maple syrup in there. No processed sugar, no refined sugar, I should say. This is just regular maple syrup. And I'm going to put about 3 tablespoons for that. Now, a regular recipe, I have written down there for the fruit, 6 apples and 2 cups of blackberries, and I have 1 tablespoon of maple syrup, so not even a whole lot of sweetener in the filling of it. Okay, I better turn my oven on. I'm also going to add some cinnamon to this, and this is just my cinnamon. I buy Ceylon cinnamon in a bag, organic Ceylon cinnamon, and refill my jars with it. So I'm going to go with about 1.5 teaspoons. All right, I'm going to set this aside and put my applesauce and my maple syrup back in the fridge, or put my applesauce in the fridge for the first time. I'm also going to get some butter because I want to butter the bottom of this pan. I don't remember having an issue with it sticking at all, but I'm just going to coat it with this. This is my little stick of butter. I've got 2 tablespoons left. You can tell because see my line? I mark that with a knife every time I open up a new stick of butter. So I'm just going to pretend I'm coloring the inside of this with this piece of a stick of butter. Go up the sides just a little bit and then rub that in with my fingers. All right, we're going to take our filling here. I stir that cinnamon in as much as I can, even though it's kind of floaty. All right, we're going to pour this in here. Sorry, I always try to show the inside of the bowl. It's not the way I would normally do it if I were not talking to you, but I know people want to see the inside of the bowl. All right, I'll set this right here, and I'll get my bowl over here that has my coconut oil in it, and it's melted. I've had it on the burner. See the coconut oil in there? I have about 6 heaping tablespoons of coconut oil. Now remember, I'm doing a double batch. So to this, I'm going to add 3 cups of oats. These are quick oats. These are organic quick oats. I put my bag in the trash already. I was going to show it to you. Oh wait, I want to do my maple syrup first. This is my maple syrup. This is 2/3 of a cup, so regular recipe would be 1/3 of a cup of maple syrup. I'll use this spatula I just used for the berries. I just don't know of many things as yummy as maple syrup. If you've never had real maple syrup, it's such a treat, and I never take that for granted. We didn't have real maple syrup growing up. We just had, my granddad called it Mary Jane syrup. It was just some cane syrup that was made locally, and he thought it was the best, just unsurpassed. But come to find out, that wasn't even real syrup. I didn't know that as a kid. Went to New England oh, I was probably in my late 20s, early 30s, went to New England and had maple syrup for the first time, and oh my goodness, this is what I was supposed to be having all along. Oh my word, it's so good. Okay, we have our maple syrup and our melted coconut oil together. It's getting kind of thick because the maple syrup was cold. And we're going to put in that, like I said, 3 cups of quick oats, 2 cups of almond flour. We have a friend that's going to be at this dinner, and there is a peanut allergy, a severe peanut allergy, and so I made sure that I used a brand, it's Blue Diamond, and it does not have a warning on it that it's been processed in a facility with peanuts and other nuts. So I texted her a picture of it, and I said, this is what I'm going to be using in the dessert. And she was very appreciative because, you know, when you have an allergy, you just never know when it comes from somebody else's house. Okay, let me put this up. I'm going to stir this around. It's not going to be like a dough. It's going to be crumbly. We're also going to add to this some cinnamon. And for a single batch recipe, I have written down 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, so we're going to be putting 4 teaspoons of cinnamon in this. You know what would be really good in this would be peaches during the summer. Oh, man, that would be delightful. You could also add some toasted almonds to it if you were doing peaches, and that's a really, really nice combination. All right, so that's what our mix looks like. I would say about the texture of potting soil. If I clumped it together with my hands, it would stick, but it's still easy enough to stir. All right, we're just going to pour this over the top of our fruit mixture. I learned that a difference in a fruit crisp and a fruit crumble is that a fruit crumble does not have oats in it. It has other things, but a fruit crisp contains oats, and a fruit cobbler actually has like a dough, like a pastry, a dough, or a biscuit. So technically, this is a crisp, but the recipe years ago, wherever I found it, called it a cobbler, so I'm just going with it. Okay, I would say I would call this an easy recipe because there's few ingredients in it, and it's ingredients that you normally, if you have a pretty well stocked pantry, you have these ingredients, pretty much. All right, I'm waiting for the oven to preheat. I have it set for 375, and this is going to be cooking for about 35 minutes. So when my oven dings and tells me that the temperature is up to 375, I'm going to place this in the oven. But I'll turn the camera on and let you see it when it comes out of the oven. Hopefully I can get some video footage of tomorrow evening when we all get together and we serve this. But if not, please forgive me. It's just a matter of there's a big group of people, and sometimes I forget to ask ahead of time, is it okay if I video people? Is it okay if your kid's face gets in there or whatever? And it's normally a really, it's a really sweet group of people, and normally they would not care. So anyway, hopefully I will get video footage of that, but I'm looking forward to that dinner. So I'm going to pop this in the oven. It's going to cook about 35 minutes, and I'll let you see what it looks like when it comes out. Our timer just went off on our oven, so let's get our fruit and oat cobbler out of there. All right, this is what we're looking at. bubbling hot, and I'll have to reheat this before we go to our dinner tomorrow evening. So I'm just going to let it cool off. I will probably put it out in the garage where it's cool. I have a lid that fits over this perfectly. I love these commercial pans because the lids fit so well on the bottoms. But I'll heat this up along with our spaghetti and our bread tomorrow as we take it over there to our dinner, enjoy with our friends. But I hope you give this a try. This is so easy. It's ridiculous. Okay, thanks for joining us, guys, and we look forward to sharing something again with you real soon. Recipe is in the description, but remember, it's going to be half this size. If you want it this size, just double everything in there. See ya. Okay, here's an update. I did not video us eating this cobbler the other night. I just remembered. I went to bed that night and I was like, I didn't even think about getting my phone out. Honestly, we were just having a good time. Our small group sitting at a table eating spaghetti, and then we eat the cobbler, and it actually was so very good. I was surprised at how much sweetness the applesauce brought to it, but that was actually a really good idea to put that in there. The blackberries weren't really that bad. I thought they'd be super tart like a dewberry or something when I was a kid. I was like, I cannot eat this. But I want to show you, this is the pan that I served it in. This is how much is left. Now I think there were, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, there were 9 of us eating that night. We filled up on spaghetti, but that's how much of the cobbler's left. This is not heated up yet. I'm going to heat up the leftover spaghetti and the cobbler tonight, and my husband and I are going to have it for dinner. Yeah, so I don't have to cook anything. Just heat things up. But anyway, hope you give this a try. And sorry I didn't video everybody enjoying it, but we'll enjoy it tonight. You just won't see us eating it. But anyway, hope you give it a try. Bye, guys.